it's Yura. It's been a while. Today I'm coming at you guys with a hair little tutorial on how I got my hair this bright, this light from my version Asian hair where it was just completely black or just very, very dark. And I went through the whole process of coming to this lightness that I could pretty much play with a lot of different colors if I wanted to. So I'm gonna go through with you guys step by step on how I got my hair this light at home on my own with some help from my sister as well as my boyfriend, because I taught them this so that they could help me out on areas that I can't see since I don't have eyes on the back of my head. It was a lot cheaper. And I do have to tell you guys, I researched like crazy before going into doing this. I researched like insane amount. And the overall result was that I had no breakage. It was amazing. So yeah, let's get on to it. So step one, here are the things that you will need. I have in my bag of goodies is my bleach and developer set. I have the Blonde Me Premium Line Plus Lift here, and the powder is blue, so it's gonna give a more cooler tone to offset the yellowish. And then this is the 20 volume developer. This is a 40 volume developer. I also have a 20 volume developer. I essentially have the 20 and the 40 so that I can mix the two up to create a more personalized developer volume. Like I could do 25 or 30 or 35. Just have to do a little math and calculations to figure out how much of each I need to create those percentages. And over here I have my Olaplex number 1 and number 2 that I got from Amazon. Oops, I bought it off as the salon intro kit. Then I have here a bunch of gloves. Plastic gloves, disposable gloves, like test gloves, reusable gloves. Any of those works as long as you could protect your hands. And remember, you are dealing with hazardous chemicals, so safety is very important. Next thing I have here is a mixing bowl. Just generic mixing bowl for all your stuff. Make sure it's plastic. I have a plastic disposable fork, and this is for mixing because I don't have a whisk. Plastic fork does as great of a job as a whisk does on the fly. I have here a acrylic brush, and this is for doing roots. Just because it gives a more precision application than the salon salon brushes do. Yeah, or at least the salon brushes that I have do. So the next thing I have here is a scale, and scales are very, very important for measuring things out. Scales are more accurate than the little cups that come in the bleach. Just recommend getting the scale. I know it's one additional thing, but it's worth it. Next thing I have here is this hair colorist toolkit that I got from Amazon. It was very cheap. I do not recommend it. If you want to keep doing your hair, don't recommend this kit. It falls apart very fast. But if you're gonna do it on the fly once every blue moon or something like that, then maybe this might be okay for you. But for me, this broke down really fast. Alright, so now let's talk a little bit about hair. So hair is a little thing that grows out of your head and it's dead. It's just dead protein that your body creates, it just grows out. And once it's damaged, generally it's damaged. That's why bleaching it is quite irreversible. I did a shit ton of research before I went into doing my hair, like about 2 months of preparation in terms of like talking to people who did hair, talking to people who have done their own hair, and online research on, just from hair colorists, hair salon people, just on their share of their experience and knowledge and all of this stuff. Basically, it was just a lot of research before I jumped into this. And I did my own experiment where I would try bleach washing. I think that's what it was called. Essentially, it's a method where you have your developer and your bleach and you mix it, and then you put in shampoo or conditioner in order to cut down strength of the developer. Essentially, you're gonna cut it down to like 5 or 10 or 7 or whatever the number is. It's just very, very small. So you do that, you put it all over your head, and you just like kind of just put it all over your hair. You don't even have to have precision application. The general idea is you kind of put it on like a shower, a shampoo, and you put it in for 15 minutes, then you shampoo it out like you normally do with, you know, washing your hair. This is 2 times after doing the bleach wash. So it's kind of noticeable in the light. This isn't too much of a depiction under sunlight, but I have realized that there are some parts in my hair that are taking the bleach in more than the other parts, such as this. You see that? How much lighter that is? Certain areas in my head, which is weird because on this end it's normal. It's like, it's fine. So I tried that method out several times, and you know what? It was supposed to be a method where it retains the health and condition of your hair, and I saw that it's not really doing much in terms of helping me retain my hair's condition. So I've researched even more online about Olaplex in terms of what Olaplex does, down to its mechanism and chemistry and all of that stuff, and who created it and what the salon experts are saying about it, how to use it, blah blah blah. I also have a playlist on a lot of the online internet resources that I have gotten from YouTube, so you could go check it out in the cards wherever they are. And there should be at least like several hours of content there where it just talks to you about hair and knowing about hair. And I went and taught it to my sister as well as my boyfriend, because they're the ones who was helping me do my hair in areas that I cannot see and do myself. So I went on to learn it all and then teach it, and then use videos like Tang's videos especially as like a tutorial on how to do application of that. So it's been a huge trial and error type of ordeal. Essentially what Olaplex is like a safety belt, you know, like a seat belt, safety belt. You don't want to, you know, drive your car off the cliff because you have a seatbelt. It's gonna protect you. So there is limitations to it, and it is like a treatment type of things where it claims to take the bonds in your hair, the sulfide bonds that are already existing in your hair. If they are broken from damage, it's going to reconnect them. And that's what Olaplex essentially does during the bleaching process as well. When you put Olaplex in your bleach and your hair, bleach will break those bonds, and Olaplex will reform those bonds during the bleaching process. So that's why salon, you know, pros and experts could push the hair limitation even farther than before because of Olaplex and other, like, you know, bond building. I don't know how the other products in the market that are in competition with Olaplex exactly work. I haven't done much research about them. I've only done on Olaplex. Since I didn't have much experience, I took my time when it came to doing hair initially. So instead of going straight to 40 volume, which you could probably do with Asian hair, instead of going straight to 40 volume developer, I went with 20 volume developers and, you know, tested out for like 2 hours at most, even with Olaplex, and just, you know, got some experience, got some understanding on how Asian hair works.
This is kind of what my hair looks like now. It used to be a beautiful auburn, dark cherry chestnut mahogany type of color. Now it's this yellow. It's pretty yellow, some coppery bits on the end because just heat distribution wasn't even during this bleach. I used Olaplex into the mix, and my hair feels pretty good. And the reason why I decided to go on to use Olaplex is because once my hair got to the previous color, which was like this mahogany, you know, level 4 or so, it was starting to feel dry. I started to feel the damage. Like, I realized that I couldn't see myself getting to the light enough color with my hair intact. If I was already starting to feel that sort of damage on my head already. So I decided to buy Olaplex, waited it out, give my hair some break, and then I went to this. There is some unevenness in here. There are some parts where it's still pretty coppery compared to other bits. So what I'm going to do today now is I'm going to color corrected so that I could get it as even as possible. And another thing here is this routage situation going on right here. The bleach was covered as far as I originally wanted to, but not all the way down to the root because I didn't want it to touch my scalp. But it wasn't covered in foil, so the bleaching didn't happen in those areas. So that's why there's this craziness going on here. So that's going to be fixed. So I could definitely see myself going to level 9, level 10 with this Olaplex concoction and bleach concoction that I have without breaking the hair. And so far I didn't have any breakage in my hair. It does feel a bit dry, but not so far off from where it was before. So I am thoroughly satisfied with Olaplex and kind of shocked how well it works.
Over time, it came to a point where I could like bump myself up to 30 volume. I became comfortable with 30 volume. And after all of this, I, now understand like I could go with 40 volume, put Olaplex in, and put it on hair, foil it up, and just keep an eye on it after a few hours, and it'll bleach to this lightness. Now I know that. But if you don't have that experience, like I recommend start off with like 10 volume or 20 volume, probably 20 volume. Because what Olaplex does is it bumps down a developer down like one level. So when you're using 20 volume, it'll act more like a 10 volume. So the next step is to actually create your bleach mixture. So the first thing to do is measure out the amount of bleach on the scale, and you could do like 1 ounce or 2 ounce. For me, I generally like to go with about 1.5 ounce, 1.75 ounce. Sometimes I do 2 if I feel like we're gonna go through a lot of sections. And that's because I section my hair out into 3 parts, which is down here, and then the back over here, the back crown like this, and then the front over here. So that's the 3 sections that I decided to use. Yeah, so you're gonna create the mixture by adding bleach, and then you're going to do 1-to-1 ratio of bleach to developer. So for example, let's say I use 2 ounces of bleach, I'm going to do 1 ounce of 20 volume developer and then 1 ounce of the 40 volume developer to create a 30 volume. And I would generally use 30 volumes for most people, I would say. Or you could just straight up use 20 volumes if you are brand new to this and you don't really have an understanding of how to do hair. I would highly recommend to start out with low dosage or low volume just to practice with, and that way you don't like really fuck up your hair badly and like let it fry off. Or if you want, you could even go up to 40 volume if you are more experienced with hair. So I have done 40 volumes on Asian, just like straight up black hair, and worked beautifully. After you mix everything up, like very frothy, all of it's done, and then you add in your appropriate amount of Olaplex. The recommendation, I believe, is 1/4 of an ounce for every ounce of bleach you use, and then 1/8 of an ounce, or 1/8 of an ounce for every ounce of bleach you use, and 1/4 of an ounce for every 2 ounces you use. So based off of those ratios, that's just what you could kind of like play around with. The developers of Olaplex said that like it's more of like an art form in terms of the ratios when it comes to that. So as long as you kind of abide by their general suggestion of how much to put in, you should be good. So do that, and then you could start applying it to the hair in small slivers and sections and slices and all of that stuff. So like I said, I have my hair up into 3 different sections: bottom, crown, and then the front over here. So if someone is helping me out, we're gonna do from the bottom, and then we're gonna see how long it takes for us to do that. So if I feel like it's gonna take a long time just because, we're all just starting out, we don't know what we're doing as practice, so we just do that. We're only gonna touch that section. And then as we get more practice and all of that stuff, we could do like 2 sections at a time, maybe most likely not 3 sections at a time. But yeah, that's what we essentially did, and we just kind of went with it. After we're done with the bleaching process, I would do the Olaplex number 2 treatment, and instead of doing the number 2 treatment for only 30 minutes, I would go in with at least overnight. So I would sleep with it in. After doing it, wash it out, dry the hair the next day, and then and I would dry the hair out naturally. I wouldn't put it like heat onto it, and then I will do do the other sections, and then it will be like the same thing. So when we first started out doing this, it was a very long process, just because we didn't have any training on this and they were just kind of going on the fly with this. For the application part of it, we all can't be professionals and have that like crazy like satellite kind of foiling done. So I would recommend having your little slices of hair and rolling it up with the fork. That's what I did. I just rolled it up with the fork like pasta, and then put foil on it. So I would have like little like polyps of foil around the head. And for me, that was a way of doing my hair fast, getting in the hair foils faster, so that you don't have as much time variance with when you started out here and you end up here. Like this is time 0, and then when you start over here, it's like 2 hours later, because that's also gonna create uneven bleaching. And on top of it, after the application, you could put a bit of heat onto it. I did find that having some heat gave out actually more even bleaching than when you don't have heat, because there were some times where I ended up with like zebra hair just because of uneven heat distribution. And yeah, having the hair dryer, and you just kind of put it on for about 5 minutes, you just check on it, and then if you want, you could put even more heat on it, just however you're comfortable with that. And you just check the integrity of your hair as well, because the integrity of your hair could change drastically in a matter of minutes depending on how high of a volume you're using. And I also recommend, if you're doing it with Asian hair, to do the roots definitely later, just because roots are going to bleach the fastest. So you're gonna have like hot roots if you do everything together. So definitely do like 1 inch away, or like half an inch away from the roots, do everything, and then go into the roots later on, just because roots are going to bleach faster and the integrity of the hair there is going to be like a lot better. So moral of the story is, if you're going in with this like without any experience like I did, it's very crucial to understand what the hair is, what hair does, condition of hair, all of that jazz, just crap ton of research, and then go in with smaller volumes and doing it slowly. I know you're gonna end up with some like crazy color hair at one point, because it's gonna just look like orange and just piss yellow and all of this. Yeah, but it's only temporary, and eventually you're gonna get to a point where it's very light. I'm pretty sure this is close to a banana peel instead of a banana peel color. It's close as I could get without things breaking off. And then you could put in purple shampoo or dye or whatever your method of choice is with coloring, and then it'll turn out kind of like this silverish thing going on here. So thank you guys so much for watching this video until the end. If you guys have any other questions that I may not have addressed in the video, please go ahead and ask in the comments. I will try my best to answer all of them. If you guys like the video, hit the thumbs up, and if you guys haven't done so already, hit the subscribe button, and make sure the bell notification is on. That way you will get notified whenever I make new videos. So yeah, as usual, until next time, much love, peace.
All I need is you, baby, baby.